What's up, guys? Welcome to another one of my text game report breakdowns. This one's going to be very short and sweet, and I think it's going to be a great starting point for anyone who's new to text or online game, or just guys who've been at this for a while but are still struggling to get consistent results. So in this interaction, you're really going to see three things. First of all, good banter. Secondly, a solid frame. And third, how to move things forward in a smooth and progressive way. These three things are really the fundamentals of good text game, and unfortunately really don't get the attention they deserve because a lot of guys try to focus on fancy techniques, which they also fuck up because they don't have the fundamentals down. But honestly, if you can just do this, you're gonna be 80% of the way there anyway. So quite often, the solution isn't to learn more fancy techniques, it's just to go back to the basics and make sure you're doing them correctly. So that's really what we're gonna focus on in this interaction as we go through each screenshot from start to finish. All right, so without further ado, let's jump right into the screenshots. So this is Hinge, for which I have a very special and unique opener, Hey Trouble. So I say this and she says, me trouble with an angel face. I say, yes, at least a bit I hope. So that's my standard follow-up whenever a girl says trouble, question mark, or any variation of that. She says, I suppose you'll find out as we get to know each other, to which I say, that's my preferred way of finding out. And she says, good. So I think the mistake guys often make with the Hey Trouble opener is they get really fucking just stuck on one track. The purpose of the opener, this opener, and any opener is simply to get the conversation going. That's it. So again, you don't want to get really fucking just stuck in one track. It's okay to change directions once the conversation gets going, which is exactly what I do here. My goal, because it's the beginning of the interaction, is simply to build investment. So I say, are you from here originally? Which is a basic get to know you question that I like to use, especially because I live in Miami, everyone's from a different place. She says, I was born in New Jersey, moved here when I was 8, and now I live in New York City. I've been back here for 2 months for the foreseeable future, and you're Russian. So you can see it works pretty well, and she invests, a decent amount in the interaction. I say, cool, I actually moved to New Jersey when I was 7 from Russia. That's where I grew up. How long have you lived in Miami? 3 years. I was living in LA before that. So you might be looking at the past few texts and say, but dude, this is very logical. That's okay. So I think that the big paranoia a lot of guys have is they think that the minute they stop being super funny or super witty, the chick is gonna get bored and stop responding. In reality, what happens is when you're just constantly trying to one-up yourself, while the chick may remain very engaged for the beginning of the conversation, when you go to move things forward and meet up, she's probably gonna go, this guy's funny, but I think he's just fucking around. I don't think he's actually serious, and you're gonna have a high ghosting rate. Of course, you don't want to take the complete opposite direction and be super boring because the chick will ultimately likely get bored. So you want to take the path kind of in the middle, which is what you're going to see that I do in pretty much every single one of my interactions. So she says, nice, you like living here. I used to live in Brickell before I moved to New York. What do you really do for a living, Mr. Sexologist? I say, yes, it's a cool spot. Exactly what it sounds like. Help people improve their sex and dating lives. She says, that's great. A lot of people need it. And COVID really threw a wrench in the dating game. Now it's all about indoor activities. So here, we had the basic get to know you stuff. She's investing. Now I'm gonna basically amplify it, use a little bit of the we frame, and move things in a more fun and flirty direction. So I like to alternate between kind of logical get to know you talk and then more, let's just say, fun and flirty type of shit. So I say, I'm sure love will find a way though. She says to be determined. So here she's being a little coy. Now, I've often said this in the past, good text game, good game in general, is a little bit of a dance. It's like you move in, you move back. It shouldn't just be you pushing the whole time. That's really gonna come off because the more you push, the more the chick will pull. So she's pulling, so now I'm gonna pull back myself. So I say so coy with a winky face. So again, I'm just playfully calling her out, but it's not in an angry or butthurt way. It's in a very fun and flirty way. She says, maybe I am trouble after all. So again, a little bit more of the same thing. I say, you thought about that one for a while because it took her literally 5 days to respond to that. Again, this is the advantage of being patient. Now, as you guys know, I'm very persistent. I will follow up if necessary, but sometimes I'll just let a conversation sit, for a week or something like that, right? I'm okay with waiting because I know that quite often, just by waiting, I'm gonna get a better outcome than just being super fucking, persistent and following up. Again, ultimately, if the chick doesn't respond, I will double text her. I have no problems doing that, but often it's not necessary. I say, you thought about that for a while. She says, have to be sure. I say, and are you now? So now you can see the interaction's taking a little bit of a different direction. We had the, the kind of the basic get to know you stuff. Now it's moved to the second level, which is more of this little flirty tension type of dynamic. She says, I'll let you decide. which is good, which is a green light for me to move things forward. I say, I plan on it. Do you like wine? She says, I sure do. I say, good. We should split a bottle sometime soon. So I'm moving things forward in a very smooth and progressive way. She says, absolutely. I say, what's your schedule like? She says, well, I'm actually going to New York this Friday. This week, I'll be back on Friday or Saturday though. So, okay, when she says that, I know that the date is gonna be, let's just say far away. It's gonna be at least a week out. That's okay. I know that, yes, there's a chance that she might forget about me by then. I'm not gonna be super paranoid about it. I know that if I try to really push her for like that night or something like that, then my odds are gonna be lower than if I'm just patient and wait, for when she gets back. I say, all right, let's do next weekend then. So I'm setting a very tentative date. She says yes. And then of course, because, I wanna kind of lock it in a little bit more, I say, shoot me your number, because by moving things over to text, at this point, it's gonna make the interaction a lot more solid. So in situations like this, you always just wanna move it to text. So I send her my name, which is my default opener, and she sends me a winky face. So then I wait a day and I say, make it back to Miami yet? And she says, not yet, flight was canceled, so probably tomorrow or Monday. Now, a common thing that guys might be thinking is like, oh shit, she's gonna be gone for like a week. How do I keep her entertained, while before we can meet? That never even enters my mind. Because first of all, I'm a busy fucking guy. I don't have time to entertain girls who are far away. But secondly, I just trust that, I set such a good impression initially that she will remember me, as long as I follow up within a reasonable amount of time. So she says, not yet, flight was canceled, so probably tomorrow, Monday. I say, I'll get the champagne ready. So again, fun and flirty. She says, that happens to be my fave. Then you're in for a treat. She says, looking forward to it. And then I just don't do anything. I let it sit. I probably should have just, the right decision would have been just to like that message. I didn't even do that. Honestly, I was just so busy that I forgot. And then she double texts me on Tuesday with, hi, I'm finally back. So that's another advantage of being patient and waiting. I think the mistake a lot of guys make is that they're so incapable of just letting things sit. They really need to get the girl, so they're hitting her up constantly, which actually pushes her away. So again, I always talk about being very persistent, but not being needy at all. So when she says, hi, I'm finally back, I say, welcome back, we should celebrate. Again, because it's been a while, I'm gonna soft close again. She says, definitely this weekend. I say, yes, Saturday night, question mark. That's the hard close. She says, sure, what do you have in mind? Splitting a bottle of wine on my romantic balcony. Now, some guys might be thinking, dude, like, you haven't sexualized at all. Like, what makes you confident inviting her to your place? What's the worst that can happen? She says, no, I would prefer to meet in public. Okay, not a big deal. I meet her at a bar nearby. But I always try to, plan A is always the best outcome. I think some guys, they don't even go for plan A because they're just so worried that it's not gonna work out. I'm always focusing on the best outcome. If that doesn't happen, I move to second best and third best. But first, I'm gonna take a shot. I'm gonna take the 3-pointer before I take the 2-pointer. So she says, lol, okay, and where would this be? I send her my address. She says, so close to where I lived, must be fate. Again, fun and flirty. She says, hi, I know we said tomorrow, this is the day before the date, but are you down with hanging out tonight instead? So basically, she's just making a reasonable request to reschedule for a day earlier. So I was free that night. Well, I was free later on that night after I finished a podcast. So I say, I need to finish up a video tonight. Are you gonna be up later? So this is not a shit test. I don't need to fucking do anything fancy or gamey. I just simply have a normal conversation, treat her like like a friend who wants to hang out a different night, right? I don't need to do anything crazy. She says, how late? I was only asking because I may be going to Naples tomorrow. Nothing is set in stone yet. I didn't want to be a sellout. So I like her attitude. Chicks, if you're watching this is exactly what you want to do. You want to communicate. Don't be flaky. We fucking men hate that. So I say 11. She says, I think that could work. I say, perfect. See you tonight. And then 10:45, be there soon. What's your apartment number? I give her my apartment number. Are you on the way? Leaving my place right now. She's like 15 minutes away, so here's just basic logistics. And then she comes over. So at first, actually, it was a little bit awkward because I think it's been a while since she was on a date. And I was also just I just finished a 2-hour podcast. So I was kind of tired and I was out of it. So I just let things chill for a while. We drank some wine, waited for her to get comfortable. After an hour or so, the vibe was much more on. So then from there, it was just smooth, again, progressive escalation. And actually, one of the big advantages that when you kind of let things build up like that, like you don't push for sex too fast, it kind of makes the inevitable, orgasm, the sexual experience better because there's more of that sexual tension, more of that buildup. So in that sense, it was really good. So after sex, obviously after she leaves, I send her my standard post-sex text, which is, that was hot, with 2 emojis, and she says it was. So that's the confirmation. So at this point, if I want to see her again, hang out with her again, it's going to be really easy and straightforward. All right, so let's end off this video with a quick recap. Now, going through this interaction, you might be thinking like, wait, dude, where were the crazy shit tests? Like, where was the last minute flaking? This was actually fairly smooth and straightforward. Yes, that's honestly what the majority of your text interactions with girls should look like, as long as you have the fundamentals down, as long as you can banter and vibe with the chicks, as long as that you have a solid frame. So for example, when she's not responding, you don't start blowing up her phone, or for example, when she pulls back a little bit and plays coy, you can pull back yourself instead of pushing and pushing. And as long as you can move things forward in a smart, logical, progressive way, then most of your interactions should be pretty smooth and straightforward. Now, I know you guys have seen me put out videos, where I'm kind of beating all the odds and fucking, crazy text shit is happening. And yes, I do enjoy making those, but those are the exception, not the norm. Majority of the time, it should go more or less kind of like this. So if you guys are really trying to improve your text game, instead of focusing on, some crazy shit, focus on the fundamentals. Same thing as with the gym. The guys who are really struggling to get results, chances are their core lifts are not what they should be. They're focusing on fancy isometric exercise and drop sets. When in reality, they just need to go back to the fundamentals. All right, hopefully you guys found this video valuable. Show me some love by smashing the like button, hit the subscribe button, clicking the bell for notifications. Also, if you're just jonesing for more text game, make sure to check out our Instagram at Real Playing Fire. We have a lot of text interactions on there that I just haven't been able to post to YouTube yet. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. And until next time.